In this morning's Money Watch, April is Financial Literacy Month, and today we are diving into the subject of life insurance. It is very exciting, very important. So let's continue on. It is never easy to think about topics involving loss, but listen to this. 40% of adults say their loved ones would not be financially secure after the death of a primary wage earner. And 47% would have trouble paying their living expenses just within 6 months. Don't worry, we have help. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger is here to explain what you need to know about life insurance. Jill, thank you for being here. So tell us how life insurance works, just to start out.
Right. Very easy. You pay a company a certain amount of money every year. That's a premium. And if you pass away, then that company will pay a stated amount of money to your beneficiary. And as you said, that this can be meant to cover lots of different things. So, you know, your living expenses, but also perhaps you're the kind of person like, I'm the primary wage earner. If I pass away, I want to put money away for my partner or my spouse's future retirement. Maybe I want to put money away for college. So it can cover not just living expenses in the event of loss, but also other future goals.
I hadn't thought about that. College, that's so true. So almost a quarter of Americans say they have not purchased life insurance because they don't know what type they need. What are the different types?
Well, let's make it easy. There are basically two different kinds of insurance. One is called term. You buy the insurance for a specific period of time. So you might say, hey, I'm Adriana. I'm young. I only need this for 20 years. Over the course of 20 years, I will basically be able to save a bunch of money, and my kids will get older, so my need will go down.
Oh, the 20 years is because my kids will be grown.
Right, and so that
I was like, in 20 years, I'm more likely to not be here.
So term coverage is really affordable, especially if you're young and you're healthy, and it's great, especially for families. It's really the best way. I would say 95% of the time, term will work. Now, the other kind of insurance is called permanent. It stays in place permanently. So you may have heard of something called whole life, universal life, variable universal life. But very few people have a need for insurance coverage for their entire lives. The people who do usually need it might need it to, say, fund a special needs trust. They have a special needs child. They got to put money away. Or maybe it's for estate purposes for when you pass away. There's some extra money floating around the estate to pay taxes.
So you say if you're healthy, that also brings down costs. Do you need to go to the doctor in order to get life insurance? Like, how do they know how healthy you are?
So it depends how much you're getting. But for many of the online coverage policies, you can get usually $1 million of coverage without going to get a medical exam. But if you're getting a lot of coverage, they're often going to send their own person in to give you a medical exam.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they want to make sure that you really don't smoke. Or
you want to check the engine.
Yeah, they kind of do.
So what factors should you think about when thinking about how much to get?
Well, first of all, there's a ton of calculators that will help you do this online. But again, it's the day-to-day expenses. So knowing how much you spend right now is an important part of this. But also, maybe you've got other coverage. Maybe you've got money through that's set aside in insurance through work. Maybe you want to fund something in the future. And of course, at the very end of the day, you know, the easiest way to calculate this is to use a calculator. But I round up. Insurance coverage is pretty cheap if you're young and healthy.
I've seen that coverage offered through our workplace, benefits. A lot of people have that. They can get life insurance through work. Should they?
I think it's great to do it. It's usually affordable to do a group rate. But the thing is that you want to make sure it's portable, meaning you can take it with you when you leave. So a lot of people might say, oh, I got 5 times coverage. You can buy more coverage. You can buy it for you and your spouse. It's great. It's affordable. But if you can't take it with you, what happens if you switch jobs?
Right.
So just factor that in.
So much knowledge always with Jill Schlesinger. I love our chats that we have with just us and all of you guys. So if you have a question about your financial life, you can email Jill directly at askjill@cbs.com. She could answer your question in an upcoming segment. And you can hear more advice on her podcast, Money Watch with Jill Schlesinger. I subscribe to it. New episodes drop every Saturday and Sunday.